Welcome to the Alpha Training and Consulting's online training program. Today's module is entitled Mock Certification Exam Questions for the ASQ CCQM, CCQM standing for Certified Construction Quality Manager, a great certification. We will be using questions from my website, www.asqexamprep.com. The purpose of this video is to go over the website, show you how it works, its capabilities, and go over some practice exam questions in an effort to help you be more prepared for your certification exam. This is the home page of ASQexamprep.com. Of course, these are always being modified, but at the time of this recording, it is what it is. You can see there's a lot of questions on here, so we have a lot of questions, test questions to help you out. We cover all the ASQ certification exams. We can help you on any one of these. And by the way, my name is John Lee, and I'm the president of Alpha Training and Consulting, and I have passed off on all ASQ certification exams. And not only that, but I have also prepared other students to prepare for their certification exams for over 25 years. So I have a mass amount of experience, and I'll use that experience to help you. We have everything you need to pass. We have realistic exam simulation, of course. We have learning modes. We have performance analytics. I really like this. And one of the modes, when you're answering questions, it will ask you, when you select an answer you feel is correct, it'll say, how confident are you that this is correct? And you'll say, hey, it's just a guess, to be honest with you. Or I'm very certain about this. And then, of course, there's categories in between those two. But we use that resolution of data to calculate the probability of you passing the certification exam. And I find it to be very accurate, so I think you'll enjoy that. We'll have the exam taker's guide, body of knowledge aligned content. We always use the latest revision of the body of knowledge for your particular certification. It's mobile friendly, so you can use this on any of your devices. We really have three options to help you prepare for your certification exam. One of those is you can take a full class, and it is very thorough. It has around 100 modules, lectures with associated exams and applicable downloads, etc. So if you are not very good at the body of knowledge and you need a lot of help, take the class. Okay, and I'll explain where you can purchase that later. The other one is the basic subscription, and that's at asqexamprep.com. And there you go to asqexamprep.com and sign up for the basic. The basic one is good if you understand the body of knowledge fairly well and you just need some polishing. It's not just test questions, by the way. I also have a couple videos there on test taking strategies, test taking logic, the ASQ value system, how they test on that value system. Those are very important videos, so I put that in the basic one also. And then I have a fundamental theories in there that everyone needs to know if they're going to take an ASQ exam, but many students don't. So you have that video as well. Then we have the pro version. The pro version gives you many more videos. And so if you need more than a little bit of polishing, maybe a deep polishing, go to the pro version. And then if you just need to cover the whole body of knowledge in great detail, of course, that's the class. And the pro version and the basic version will be purchased at ASQexamprep.com. And the class, if you want the class, you go to www.alphatc.com. Again, that's Alpha TC for Alpha Training and Consulting, alphatc.com. So we have three options there to help you wherever you may be in your preparations. All right, let's go to the website and start answering some questions. All right, here we are at the website. Notice here's a CCQM. I'm signed up for all these because I'm creating these videos, but CCQM, Certified Construction Quality Manager. Notice we currently have 1,206 questions in this particular class. So we have plenty of questions for you to practice on, and this is growing all the time. All right, let's get started on this and see how we do. There we go. I always like to start out with the smart practice. Then I work my way over. I master this one. Then I go to the next one, master that one. Then I go to the next module and master that one. And then, that's 3 steps there. The 4th step is number crunching practice. You're not going to have a lot of number crunching in the CCQM, but you may have some. So I want you to go through this. And when you first do these number crunching ones, don't worry about the time. Just worry about getting them correct. Okay. Then once you get them correct, you start getting them correct, then start doing them quicker. That's what I'd recommend. But anyway, a 4-step process in getting you ready for the certification exam. Notice there's 14 videos in this one also. So it's more than just a mock certification exam service. We also offer the videos and etc. So let's get started. Let's go over here and select Smart Practice. And all of these different modules will be the same thing. It'll have easy, moderate, extreme. And I'd recommend you do easy ones first, master those, get the basics down. Then go to the moderate, a little bit more difficult, master those. Go to the extreme. This is going to take a while probably to master these. And then these will be combined into an ASQ simulated exam. And if you'll do those on each of those 3 modes there, you should be ready for the test, assuming you have a basic knowledge to begin with. If you don't, you'll want to take my class. Okay, we're going to go with easy to start with, just like I recommended. And let's start the quiz. And here we go. And also there's capabilities that match the capabilities of the software in the ASQ exam. And I'm going to show you those capabilities right now. One is you can highlight important elements in the question. This isn't a very long question, so I may not use it in the actual exam, but I want to show you the capability, so I will. What is the primary purpose of submittal review? Okay, purpose of submittal review. So I'm going to highlight that because I feel that's important. In construction quality management, well, I already know this is CCQM, so I don't need to highlight that. And that's all I really need to know the purpose of a submittal review. So that's one of the 3 elements of capability. The other one is I can flag these. Notice what happens when I flag it. It turns it red down here. So when you're finished with the exam, you can come back and go back to these red ones, click on it, and maybe spend more time on them. Maybe you weren't real certain, but you didn't want to spend a lot of time right now because you don't know how much time you have, and you don't want to get behind time at the very first. So you select the one you think's correct, but flag it so you can come back and look at it with more time later and maybe look things up. The way I do it and recommend that you do it, I will go through the test the first time, and I'll do every question I can that I can answer without opening a book or using a calculator. In other words, just logic and my knowledge in my brain. And I'll answer as many of those as I can. And anything else, if I need to look something up, I'll red flag it. Or if I need to use a calculator, how do I know I need to use a calculator? When you look at these and there's numbers for answers, don't even read the question. Guess, flag, come back later. Save those for last. You can work those last. Number crunching and lookup ones take longer. So do all the first ones. And what's my goal? 80%. I try to finish 80% of the test the first time through without using a book or a calculator. That's a pretty high goal. Maybe you'll be more around 50%. But either way, you're going to be fine. And then when you get through with 50% of the exam, assuming you can do that, and you look up at the time, you realize, oh, I have plenty of time for looking things up and doing the number crunching, and therefore time doesn't become a constraint. If you let time become a constraint, you tend to get test anxiety. If you let yourself get test anxiety, you're going to be in trouble. You need to settle down, take some breaths or something and settle down, or you'll fail the exam. And I try to keep you from getting yourself in that situation. So that's where I use the flagged for, is anything that's a lookup question that I have to use a book, the handbook, or I need to use a calculator. So that's the second capability. So we have one more to go. Let's read this. Purpose of a submittal review. To coordinate construction schedules across trades. Okay. To coordinate, huh? Maybe. So I'm not, the other one is I can strike this out. Let me show you. If I felt that this was not the correct answer, I could come over here. You can't see it, but my arrow's right there. And I'm going to right click my mouse and see how it strikes it out. So that's the third capability. That's the three capabilities that you'll have in the ASQ exam. Same capabilities we have here. Because I don't want anything to be a surprise when you walk in that testing center. In fact, one of those videos that go with this tells you what to expect in the ASQ exam. Again, we don't want any surprises. So purpose of a submittal review, meaning you submitted something, they review it, and to verify compliance with project specifications. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think that's the big thing right there. So I think this one's correct. I think this one is better than A, so I'm going to cross out A, like I said I would, when I figured it wasn't the correct one. To track project costs for billing purposes. Now, it may be part of what they look at, but that's not all of it. That's not its primary purpose. Remember, this does say primary purpose. To select subcontractors based on quality criteria. No, I'm pretty sure it's B. So I'm going to select B. And I'm pretty high on this one, so I'm going to select confidence level of high. And that's good. I got it correct. Very good. So we'll do 5 of these easier ones. By the way, if I come across a lookup one, I will flag it because I don't want to spend time in this video you watching me look something up. It's of no value to you. If it's a lookup question, you're highly likely to get it correct. It's just a matter of opening your book and finding it. And that may take some time, so you need to organize your material, be familiar with your material before you go in the test. But most lookup ones, you're going to have a high percentage of getting those correct. In construction specifications, okay, I already know this is a construction test, so I don't need to highlight that, but specifications. What does a submittal typically refer to? Okay. Now, I'm not saying I'd do this in the real exam. I just want to make sure you feel comfortable with the capabilities. Specifications submittal typically referred to a non-conformance report. No, because it didn't say we violated the specification. So I don't think that's it. There's not good alignment there. So I'm going to knock that one off. Documents or samples provided for review before installation. No, it's not samples, it's specifications. So I don't think it's that one either. Change order proposals initiated by the contractor. No. A punch list, I don't like any of them. Okay, so now I have to go back here and uncheck these. When you have a question and you don't know the correct answer, you try to get rid of the 2 weakest ones so you can get it down to 2. And you say, okay, you went from 25% probability to 50%, even if you're guessing. Okay, but that's not completely true, because if you have 2, you can critically compare them, and I'd argue that your probability of getting that correct is more like 70%. A construction specifications, what does a submittal typically refer to? In construction specifications. Okay, so it refers to specifications. A punch list for outstanding project deficiencies. No, I don't think that's the correct one. So I'm going to go down here to D, and I'm going to cross that one out. Now I need to get rid of one more that I feel is most likely to be wrong here. Change order proposals initiated by the contractor. Okay, could be. Documents or samples provided for review before installation. Could be. A non-conformance report required after failed inspections. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's it. I don't think it aligns very well with that question. So now I've got it down that I feel that the correct answer is one of these 2. This is how you do it. This is my recommendation of how you should do it. Now I can critically compare these two, try to align them with these keywords up here. Word alignment is very important when you're in this situation. Documents or samples? Well, that covers a lot of things, documents or samples. Provide for review before installation. Yeah. Submittal has to do with a review, so I like that. Change order proposals initiated by the contractor. Well, it could be initiated by his subcontractor. So I feel B is the better one, but I'm not sure on this one. This is a tough one in my opinion. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to select B. When it says my confidence, I'm going to put low on this one. But notice I did get it correct. Again, you think, oh, it's 50-50. No, it's more than 50-50 because I can critically compare these two. But it's still somewhat of a high-risk question because I wasn't certain on this one. So hopefully that was helpful in giving you an idea of how to approach those. Notice we have down here whether I got it correct or not. If I didn't get it corrected, show which one was correct and show mine is wrong, and it would also give an explanation. In other modules, you can go to AI and it'll give you quite an in-depth report on these things. So be aware of that. That's very helpful. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Notice also we have a little dashboard up here. I've got 100% so far, been 4.9 minutes per question, 2 out of 2. This will not be in the ASQ exam. This is just here to help you prepare for the ASQ exam. But when you go to the ASQ exam, you're not going to see this. You won't know what your score is. At the very end, you hit submit. And it will tell you if you passed or you did not pass. But if you pass, it's not going to give you a grade. So just so you're aware of that. Again, we don't want any surprises. Now, I'm not real worried about this right now. If I was really doing this and trying to get my time down at this point in the test, I'd probably be at around a half minute per question. And so you can go through these pretty quickly, but I'm sitting here lecturing the whole time. So we're not too worried about this right now. But you'll want to be worried about it when you're doing this. Which document specifies the minimum requirements for concrete materials, design, and construction in the United States? Okay? Which document specifies minimum requirements for concrete? So it's going to be about concrete. Now, the problem with this one, it's a lookup question, as you can see. Well, the first thing you look at, if you don't know this, which I don't, you look for C, because if it's for concrete, you're going to have a C in the standard. So ACI, Building Code Requirements for Structural Concrete. That's for steel. This is for management systems. This is for fire tests. So it's just a word alignment, concrete, concrete. I go with A. Now, I would probably pick this one, but then I'd flag it and come back later and I'd look that up to make sure that's correct. But for right now, I would pick this one and I'd flag it. How certain I'm kind of medium. I feel pretty good with that word alignment, and that is correct. Okay, but again, I would flag it so I could come back, and I still want to look that up because when I take the real test, it's not going to tell me right away if I'm correct or not. Remember, that's not an ASQ exam. This is just to help you prepare. And so notice I flagged it. I'm going to come back and look that up in a book later if this was the actual exam. Okay, let's go to question number 4 here. What is the main purpose of QA/QC plan in construction projects? Okay, the main purpose of a quality plan. So I'm just going to use some of the capability here. Main purpose of QA/QC plan. Okay. To outline the project's budgeting and billing procedures? No, it's about quality. It has to have quality in here somewhere. Okay, there it is, project quality requirements. And so it's not going to be A. I'm pretty sure it's going to be D. I just did word alignment, right? And I knew it was going to have quality in the correct answer. Subcontractor insurance, schedule concrete pours. No. Procedures to ensure project quality requirements are met. Quality, quality, word alignment. In this exam, remember I passed all the ASQ exams. Of all my exams, none of them use word alignment more than the CCQM. So keep that in mind. That doesn't mean your test will be that way, but it is an important test-taking skill, word alignment. Okay, let's go down, pick D. I'm quite certain about this one. That is correct. So very good. We're at 100%, so we're doing well here. This will be our last easy one. Which code sets minimum requirements? Okay, look at this. This is a lookup question, unless you know which one it is, because it's a knowledge-based question. It's not a logic-based. But we may be able to get it correct. Which code sets minimum requirements for structural concrete design? Structural concrete. Okay, so I'm going to look at all those, and I'm going to see if any of them align with structural concrete. And of course, if C is in here, see that C, it's most likely for concrete. And I know from a previous example, it was ACI 318, if I remember correctly. And so that's how I would do this one. Would I still come back and look this one up? Yeah, probably. I'd look up ACI 318, and it says, oh, this is for concrete. Okay, that's all I need to know. Thank you. It's just going to take a short amount of time to check in on this one. I'm quite certain about this one. All right. So there we did 5 easy ones. Hopefully you learned something new there. Let's go back up here. At any time, you can exit this and still evaluate your performance. Notice there's 15 on this test if you were to do the whole thing. But I'm going to exit and evaluate at 5. Because maybe you're on break and you only take a few questions. That's okay. Exit and evaluate. It will give you your report. There it is. Just what you needed. All right, let's do some moderate questions now. So I'm going to go back up here to smart practice, because that's where we're at right now. And I'm going to go moderate and start quiz. All right, so these are most likely going to be a little bit more difficult. When reviewing a punch list prior to a substantial completion, okay, you have the construction, you've done all the work, but you're still going to have a punch list. I mean, it's pretty much a given. These are all the things that you need to finish before closing out this project. They call it a punch list. What item requires the most urgent attention? Okay, it's going to be anything involved with safety, I can tell you that. Life safety system deficiency. Okay, yeah, that's the most urgent. Non-structural, no. Minor paint, no. Missing signage on mechanical rooms, no. This is anything that I knew it was going to say safety the minute I read this. And so this would be A, quite certain on this one. And that is correct. Okay, we'll do a few of these. There's our first one. And notice we're at 100% up there, so that's good. When reviewing a subcontractor's submittal for MEP equipment, what documentation should you require to verify compliance with project performance specifications? So verify compliance. Verify compliance with project performance specifications. Okay, to verify, I'd rather have it be more objective, like taking concrete to a lab and crushing it and see if it meets specs. That would be an example. To verify compliance with project performance specification, a generic installation instruction manual for all equipment types? No, I think it's going to be more specific than that. Because it says specifications. And I don't think that really aligns with specifications. So for right now, I'm going to select that to cross it out. A signed letter of intent to supply specific equipment. No. Remember, you're verifying performance here. And I don't think that's going to verify performance. So I'm going to cross that one out. A sample warranty policy from the equipment manufacturer. No. Manufacturer certified test data. There it is. I knew it would have to be objective test data. And so it's going to be D, no doubt. And again, I'm going a little bit slow because I'm talking. If I was really doing these, you're talking 10, 15 seconds and I'm out of there on most of these questions. Okay, what do I see here? A bunch of standards. So this could be a lookup. I'm going to look at it and try word alignment because it gives me all this. Of course, we know this is concrete, don't we? And I know some of these other ones, such as UL. When inspecting fire stopping of penetrations. Fire stopping of penetrations. Okay, I've actually visited UL, and they test for this type of stuff. Okay, they start a fire, and they see how long it takes to burn through something. So right now, I'm leaning towards UL, and know what it says. Notice it says fire stop, fire stop. Which standard should be referenced to ensure compliance to life safety systems? I'm going to look through it real quick, make sure none of these others have fire on there. Oh, this is a sprinkler system. Fire stopping of penetrations, huh? Okay. All right. This one is, this is fire resistance also. And this is construction specification involving fire rating for concrete. Okay. And this doesn't have to do with concrete specifically, so I'm going to put a line through this one. For general fire resistance of structural elements, I like that. I like fire resistance, but I also like fire stop because this is fire stop. So due to word alignment, I'm going to go with B here. But I would definitely come back and look up UL 1479, just check it and make sure it aligns with this. So I'm going to flag it to come back to. But if I was taking the test and I had to pick one, due to word alignment, I'd go with B. I'm kind of low on this one, but I did get it. And it is correct. Let's do one more. What did I look for? If this is all standards, it's a lookup question. Now, what I've shown you is even though it's a lookup one, I can still use test-taking logic, word alignment, and get them correct. How should a quality manager address a field? And that will help you in your lookup because you're fairly certain due to word alignment it's that one, so you just have to look up this one instead of all four of them. So it's not a bad strategy. How should a quality manager address field-discovered discrepancies between installed rebar spacing and ACI 319 minimum requirements? Okay. How should the quality manager address this? Okay. It's a problem, right? Why is it a big problem? Because it's a structural problem. Rebar is a structural problem. And so this is a safety issue. So it's a very important thing. Ignore the discrepancy? No, this is safety, this is structural. Issue a nonconformance report and notify the structural engineer for direction? Yes, that wouldn't be a bad one right there. My guess is B is correct. Accept the work if it passes after placement testing. No, I'd get the engineer involved. Approve the installation if the overall concrete cover is increased. No, I'm going to go to an engineer, a structural engineer. So this one I'm fairly certain is B. I'm pretty high on this one, and it is correct. All right. We'll do one more. According to ACI 318, we know this about concrete. Which statement best guides commissioning quality review for cast-in-place concrete strength acceptance? Okay, according to A318. So this is a look-up one. And we could spend time doing it still. According to AC 318, which statement best describes commissioning quality review for cast place concrete strength acceptance? Only field cured cylinders are required. I don't like this word. This is an absolute only. And since I don't know the correct answer, I'm going to use these test taking rules to try to help me. But this is an absolute. It's usually incorrect. Acceptance can be based solely on historical data from mixed design submittals. No, not just on historical. Maybe you have something different with this one. You need to take it into account. Concrete must attain its 28-day strength within 14 calendar days of placement. Strength test results should meet the or exceed specified compressive strength requirements. I think it's D. Okay. Because you have different requirements everywhere, and I don't know about the 14 calendar day thing for 28-day strength. So it's either C or D, but I'm going to go with D. I feel there's better alignment there. It's more general. I like that. Because when you write these standards, it has to be somewhat general, because there's going to be all different kinds of specs out there depending on the kind of building you're building, etc. So that's why I went with D here. I'm medium confidence on this one, and that is correct. Notice how I answer these. Even though I don't know what the correct answer is, I used the word alignment is a big thing we've used here today. I used an absolute, is usually incorrect, and I have 2 hours worth of lectures that come with this that go over how to do those things. How to work your way down to the correct answer, even if you're not sure about the question. And so you need to be a good test taker, and you need to know the material real well to pass this challenging exam. All right, hopefully that was helpful. Congratulations, you have almost completed this module. However, I just wanted to go over a little bit more information with you. Again, this is Alpha Training and Consulting, and we have 3 options for you. Purchase the class if you need to just cover the whole body of knowledge. But if you're pretty good at the body of knowledge, you've worked the body of knowledge in your professional career for some time, and you just feel you need a little polishing with test questions, then go to ASQexamprep.com and just purchase the basic subscription. If you need more than just a surface polish, you need to go a little bit deeper, then sign up for the pro version at ASQexamprep.com. Again, though, but if you need the full class, go to alphatc.com and purchase the class there. So we have a solution for whatever your needs are. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me and I'll get back with you as soon as possible. Congratulations, you have completed this module. I hope you have learned something new that will help you on that certification exam. Thank you and have a great day. Goodbye.